Hey there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. Time for another ASX Rundown video. Before I do that and look at some of your comments and reply to some of your comments, just my plans for the next week or so. I do have to get through, or plan to get through, quite a few standalone videos on some companies, including Calix, which is a financial year 23 video. Still got about 10 more of those videos to get through. Also going through Appendix 4Cs that were released in January, and I have 5 companies I want to get through. I've already prepared the videos for all these, by the way. Acumatis Nexian, which is NNG. I'm not sure if I've ever looked at that company before. Frontier Digital Ventures, Credit Clear, and I've decided to do a video on Bellevue Gold, which I actually mentioned yesterday, and someone in the comments mentioned that company as well. And I have decided I will actually do a video on that company because they've just gone to production and the company itself looks interesting. Another video I'm going to do and a new series is called Assess My Trades. I was thinking of calling it Grade My Trades, and this is where I go back and look at my trades. I have a look at the reasoning behind why I might have sold or bought that particular company, and then I'm going to grade that particular trade. Plenty of videos to do in that series because I am trading quite often. Another video I'm going to do is, and this was a request from a couple of viewers, is a technical analysis books. Those 3 books I'm reading right now. Hopefully that'll be a short one, and a lot of ideas they have created just by reading these books. They have just generated many ideas I have. And another series I really want to do is a breakout video, sort of like an ongoing breakout video. For instance, today I was hoping Treasury Wines was going to break out on the back of China getting rid of the tariffs, that sort of thing. But I think the market already expected that. And that was going to be my first breakout video. So what I'm going to do in that series is if Treasury Wine broke out, I'd say this is the initial breakout, and then I would track the performance of that particular breakout up until the time it either the breakout fails or who knows, I could track that particular breakout for many, many years. And this is something I really want to do, is just track breakouts. I have not done much research on this, but just the small sample size I have used and can remember, breakouts work quite often, but doesn't mean just because I remember breakouts working quite often, doesn't mean they always. And this is an idea just for me to track the performance of companies breaking out. So that's some of the ideas and some of the videos I'll be doing within the next week or maybe even 2 weeks. I also plan to continue this series because you have responded quite well to this ASX breakdown or rundown, daily rundown video. Now on to comments that were released or written in yesterday's video. Anderson 6379. I noticed Appen's movement this morning. I was working through your content, blah, blah, blah. And light clack blam in. I'm curious to hell as to what is happening to my biggest mistake. Appen handed me behind. I have no, and someone replied, it's become a meme stock. Yeah, I think it's like a day trader stock at this point in time. There's no rhyme or reason behind what's happening to Appen. Some people might disagree with that, but I did have a look at the half-yearly report. There wasn't anything too exciting in that. And I will be having a look at Appen because they did release something last night after I recorded that video, and we had seen the share price pull back a little bit today. So at this point in time, I have no interest in Appen at all. Not one iota of interest. And here is Jack Su, probably totally messing up that pronunciation again. He did, or she did, buy BGL, which is Bellevue, on a Monday, and share price of Bellevue was up 10%. Anderson 6379, who I'm assuming lives in South Africa, is he invests or she invests internationally, and he or she says the Johannesburg Stock Exchange is suffering the same fate as the ASX with regards to the delistings and very few IPOs. That is why this person invests internationally to try to diversify my domestic risks. And I can tell you right now, this is another reason why I'm becoming more interested in the United States, and that particularly that international exposure in the United States really interests me, and a lot more possibilities and potential in the United States as well. So that's why I'm starting to invest more and more in the United States. I'll still stick to ASX, but my overall investments in United States companies is slowly rising. I can tell you that much. What do you think about KMD brands from Calamus? Its trades below current assets per share. Is that current tangible assets? I prefer tangible assets because I would assume that KMD brands has quite a few intangible assets. Let's have a look. Now, KMD brands is on my radar just because of value. Just because of value. And in fact, let's just have a look at the chart for KMD brands. Now, the problem with KMD brands, yes, I might talk about Findy later. KMD brands fell through a support level. Yeah, here it is. There was a nice little support level at about 62 cents or so. And then it did release some negative news on the 20th of February, and share price just keeps on falling. Current market cap of KMD brands is an enticing $344 million. And this is a company that has generated pretty significant amount of revenue. This is just according to TradingView. Over $1 billion of revenue in financial year 23 and profit of 32 million. If you go back through the years, this company has had profit above 50 million 2 of the last 5 years, and revenue has been slowly increasing. Now, the company has been experiencing some headwinds, particularly with Kathmandu. A warming climate means less people are buying cold weather gear, that sort of thing. I still remember the only time I've ever got into a Kathmandu store is when I went to Europe during the winter months over there, and I just bought some clothing, some cool weather clothing in Kathmandu. Also bought some stuff in Paris, and that's the only reason I've gone to Kathmandu. They also own Rip Curl, and I'm pretty sure Rip Curl probably is doing okay right now. But definitely KMD brands is on my radar, but chart looks absolutely horrible. I'll have a look at the net assets per share. I wonder if you can see it. I can bring up one of the other platforms I use. Let's have a look. Balance sheet. Assets. Cash assets, total current assets, 425.9 million, total current liabilities, 239 million. So net assets or net equity, I should say, at end of financial year 23 was under $200 million. So it is trading under current assets, but does it not include or total assets? That's just current assets, non-current assets. Anyway, I'd have to have a closer look at their particular shareholders' equity, 780.4 million. I don't like how they got all this, ComSec. Let's have a look at FinChat. Let's have a look at FinChat. This is so I was a Guru-focused subscriber. Now I've become a FinChat just because it's cheaper, and I have access to the whole world. And I'm just going to see if I can see this. So let's have a look at the, let's go straight to the source. Let's go straight to the source. And this is a great thing about this particular video. I can do things on the fly. And last time they released their results was final results in September last year. So we're talking about they should be releasing the half-year results soon. So let's have a look at their preliminary final report. Now, the current market cap of the company was at 330 million. We'll say 350 million. This takes a while. So let's have a look at the next question. Anything in WDS? So I probably, just based off the chart I looked at about a week ago, Woodside, Santos did not interest me at all. In fact, starting to look more interesting. It's at a support level. The reason I'd say support level, it's at the recent low. So it's not a strong support level unless we look at the weekly chart for Woodside. And that is actually a fairly strong level because there was another low back in May 2022. So where Woodside is right now is a pretty important support level. If it falls any further from here, it's getting to the point where the share price is at a 2-year low. So Woodside actually does look interesting just because where the share price is in relation to an important support level. Now let's have a look at KMD Brands, just their final report. And we're going to open this up so I can just scroll through here really quickly. Where are we now? It's a problem with going through these on the fly because annual reports are really, really long. I'm just looking, here we are. Here we have some numbers. Here we go. And what I want to look at is the balance sheet. Here we go. So we can figure out the equity. So yeah, set at 600 and net assets, 841.6 million. So that means equity is 841.6 million because net assets must be equal to net equity. And the whole reason why this is called a balance sheet, I'm pretty sure, even though I'm not an accountant, is because net assets is equal to total equity. Could be some other reason behind that. Anyway, there probably is another reason behind that. Anyway, the other thing I want to look at is intangible assets, 704.4 million. So typically, I don't like intangible assets because they've made some acquisitions, and intangible assets, they're saying the worth of this company, just like brand name, say Rip Curl, is worth 704 million. That's not just Rip Curl. So typically what I do is I take away intangible assets from the total equity. So you're left with $137 million, and that's net intangible assets. And this company is still trading above net intangible or net tangible assets, I mean. So that's just one thing I do. I prefer net tangible assets over net assets. Because a lot of times when a company does write down, the company has a big loss. It's because they're writing down their intangible assets. Okay, so anything in WDS, I've already talked about that. What do you think of Zip? Do you think there will be a correction or keep rising? At the moment, it's still looking fairly bullish as there's enough interest in Zip for enough demand for the share price to keep going higher. Now, this is the weekly chart. Let's have a look. So, yeah, if the share price gets above $1.32, that would be good. And there's just enough interest. So I thought there would be a little bit of a correction because the share price has run up really quickly. But I have bought a little bit more into Zip just in case the share price runs even further from here. But if the share price dips back to say $1 or say $1.05, that could be quite healthy. And then if it falls below $1, that would be more bearish. So that's Zip. So I have no idea if there will be a correction. I can't foretell the future. It's all about risk and reward, that sort of thing. What do you think? Nice. 007420 says, what do you think of Treasury Wines breaking out after possible good news 3 hours ago? So I was thinking that Treasury Wines might break out. So in terms, this is sort of a good segue into announcements that have been released today. But before we have a look at announcements today, let's go back to announcements that were released in the afternoon yesterday after I recorded my video. And sometimes some interesting announcements are released in the afternoon or even early evening. And yesterday was an instance because we had Core Lithium release the half-year results. I had a quick look, massive loss in the half-year. And I would say the share price down a little bit, down 9%. Another company being taken over, Millennium Services Group, a very low quality company. When I say low quality, I mean ultra low quality company. Millennium Services has, I'd say, maybe $500 million of revenue and is barely profitable. Sort of like a cleaning company, that sort of thing. And so I don't care if that company gets taken over. And Treasury Wine. Oh, yeah, and Appen released their response to the price query, which I will have a look at. That was actually interesting. So Treasury Wines, I saw that release at 6:33 p.m. and I went, this could break out. Because this is in regards to tariffs, Chinese tariffs on Australian wine. And they have been advised that the Chinese Ministry of Commerce has released an interim draft determination outlining a proposed removal of the current tariffs on Australian wine imports into China. And I thought if this would be a surprise to the market, the share price might rally from here and it might be breaking out. The reason I say that, we'll have a look at the chart in a second. But on the flip side, potentially the market might have been expecting this. And I half suspected that the market was expecting this ruling. The market can be quite intelligent at times. And let's have a look at Treasury Wines chart for today. Actually, before we do that, let's have a look at how Treasury Wines performed today. Only up 1.5%. So straight away, we can see, I think the market was expecting this announcement from the Ministry of Commerce. Now, the reason I was interested in Treasury Wines as well is just a chart here. And we have seen share price run up a fair bit. It's gone from $10 all the way up to $12. So it's increased 20% over a short period of time. That's since the start of January. So maybe the reason why the share price has run up, it's not the back of their financial results, because this company is not really performing right now financially. And there's probably only one reason I would own Treasury Wines for the long term. That's Penfolds. Maybe if they do really well in China. And one of the reasons I haven't liked Treasury Wine is their past obsession with China. A lot of companies have this problem, being obsessed with China or overly obsessed with China. A2 Milk has this problem. And Treasury Wines decided, let's be less reliant on China and diversify. And that's one of the best things Treasury Wines has done. So the share price moved above $12.20, and that was a key resistance level. It moved above that level back towards the end of February. One day, the share price did fall below that on the 6th of March, but that was a false break. And I thought today, if the share price can get above $12.60, and it did for a brief period, that could be confirmation of breakout. And the last time the share price was this high was way back in May last year. So this is a potential breakout, but I would have liked a little bit more excitement on the back of this particular announcement. Not a lot of volume coming in. And this is not the best sort of announcement. I do prefer good financial news from a company. Good financial news includes half-year report, full-year report, and the company beating expectations, also trading updates, positive trading updates. Those are the sort of things I am looking for in terms of a breakout. So very close to a breakout Treasury Wines. And I had this on my watch list in the morning. Now, I still will have this on my watch list. I'm going to put this onto my daily watch list because it is showing signs of breaking out. Treasury Wines. Now let's have a look at Appen. Their response to the ASX price query. And this was not a surprise. There were some interesting things in this particular announcement. So the ASX saw the share price of Appen rose a lot on fairly big volume. And they're just wondering, does Appen have any news they have in-house they have not released to the market that could explain why the share price is rising a lot? Typically, the company will say or answer that particular question, no. And they've done that. Answer to question 1 is no. Although I refer to the response in question 3. Question 2 is not applicable. And then in question 3, typically the ASX will ask, well, is there any other reason you can tell us to understand why the share price is running hard right now? And sometimes a company will give some really interesting information in this part of the ASX price and volume query letter. And Appen have done exactly that, because they actually have mentioned, that they mentioned here that on the 21st of November, it disclosed to the market that the board is continuously assessing opportunities to realize value for shareholders, including selling parts of their business, that sort of thing. And then they mentioned here's a potential, not a takeover, sort of like a merger with this other company called Innodata, which is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. The indicative proposal contemplates offer consideration for 70 cents a share. Share price of Appen is well above that, which equated, that 70 cents equated to a premium in excess of 100% to the Appen share price at the time of the proposal. So the share price was below 35 cents. The share price of Appen has run up really hard. Now, some of the other interesting things here is the management still saying the indicated proposal is stated to be subject to various conditions. And they're going through the conditions here. And Appen board is currently seeking to understand the potential value to Appen shareholders from the proposed combination of these two companies, and has agreed to a limited exchange of non-public information on both businesses to occur on a non-exclusive basis, blah, blah, blah. Now, because the share price has run up hard, there's no way this particular merger is going to go through at a share price of 70 cents, because the share price of Appen right now is well above that level, and shareholders will be really pissed off with Appen for doing or even thinking about that. Now, I had a close look at Innodata. and I actually had a look at their chart here, Innodata. So Innodata, and the markup of Innodata was 120 million. And just by looking at the chart, it's a pretty ugly looking chart. And on the back of this particular news from Appen, the share price of Innodata dropped 16.3%. So shareholders of Innodata were not happy with this proposed merger, but the share price of Innodata is actually a really interesting level. And we can just draw a line right there. The reason that's interesting, in fact, it goes all the way back to this time last year. Share price of Innodata was in a beautiful uptrend, and then it's really dived down. And we can see that around about we'll say between $5.50 and $6 is a really important support level for this company. Markup, according to TradingView, 172 million. So Innodata and Appen are fairly the same in terms of market cap. Increasing revenue over the past 5 years from 55 million to 87 million. Loss making, no. So I'm not sure if this would be a merger of equals, but at least Innodata has increasing revenue over time, but not profitable at this point in time. So at this point in time, there is probably interest out there in regards to Appen, and the share price of Appen did fall in the back of this 11%, 10.6%. Really interesting trading on Appen today. And I'm going to look at the 5-minute chart. So this is just me being interested. I'm not going to trade this at all. But if I was a trader, I'd look at the 5-minute chart. And this company has pretty good support at the longer term moving average. So this blue line, this is the 155-minute moving average. And it's acting as a really important support level for Appen. And it's been happening for about, we'll say for about, 8 days now. Every single time Appen share price gets towards this shaded area, which is the longer term moving average channel, or the blue line, we see the share price or this level acts as support. And it did it twice today. Twice today. On open, the share price opened at 88 cents or around that level, 86 cents, which is right on that level. And then we saw a lot of buying coming in and then selling. And on the selling, the share price moved straight back to that particular moving average. So that's that average, or that moving average, 155-minute moving average, is acting as a support level for this company. And then during the rest of trading today, share price just going sideways at or just below $1, and $1 is going to be an important resistance level moving forward for this company. So unfortunately, those who bought late yesterday, some people bought at about $1.15, almost immediately you're down 20% on this company. And more than likely, they probably sold out on open to take in the loss. Anyway, so interesting for Appen. I wanted this video to be really quick, but I don't know if I can do that. Now on to announcements today. I'm not sure if there were any announcements. There were a couple of interesting announcements. So we're going all the way back. So a company called Briscoe Group released their full year results. Why would I not be interested in Briscoe Group? Let's have a look at their chart. So this company is listed on the New Zealand Stock Exchange. It's probably more liquid there. Maybe not. That's a 5-minute chart there, however. Okay, so this is the chart for Briscoe in New Zealand. But when you look at the Briscoe Group Australia or ASX chart, it's very highly illiquid. This is the very definition of a highly illiquid chart. So no interest in that company at all. So in fact, when I went through these announcements before trading began, I found nothing or very few announcements that intrigued me at all until AVA Risk Group released an investor presentation. I don't know why that's marked price sensitive. Microbar Life Sciences diagnostic test launched with Sonic Healthcare. Share price of that company rose 9%. That was sort of interesting. But then I had a look at the chart, and the chart of that company just turned me off straight away. I want to see companies' shares in a downtrend when they release a good announcement, because a lot of times resistance can really harm the breakout. And the share price of Microbar Life Sciences is in a downtrend. So that didn't interest me. And share price, even though it ran up, was it 10%? Still not a breakout. Now, I might have missed some of the really good announcements because I'm looking for keywords. I'm looking for First of all, I'm looking for tick codes that I do follow quite closely. And then I'm looking for trading updates, full-year results, half-year results, that sort of thing. Sierra Resources doing a couple raising, I believe, if I remember correctly, trading halt. And there was one announcement that intrigued me. Quantum Intellectual Property had went into a pause in trading because just before we opened, they have to go into pause in trading because there's a trading halt coming out. Singular Health also had a pause in trading. I did not have a look at those announcements, so now we can. Volpara being taken over. Here we have trading halt from Quantum. Also a trading halt from PSC Insurance Group. Let's have a look at that one. So the first one here is Quantum. Is this in regards to a takeover? Announcement relating to a material transaction and is required to ensure Quantum. Well, I sold out of Quantum yesterday, so hopefully this is not a takeover above $2. That won't piss me off, but it'll be like, oh man, I should have been a little bit more patient. It's okay. I have my rules. Stuck to my rules. And what's this one called? PSC Insurance. This is sort of insurance broker, if I remember correctly. And this is regards to media speculation in relation to a potential takeover. So potentially another company being taken over. That's terrible. And the other company was Singular Health. Let's have a look at that. This could be good news or maybe a couple raising. Let's have a look. Because the chart, the reason I'm interested in this is just the chart. So let's have a look at Singular Health. Singular Health. Yeah, this is the chart. Really good volume coming in. Share price has taken off, increased from 4 cents to a current share price of 13 cents. Not a lot of volatility the last month or so after the last rise of 59.6% on the 1st of February. Fair bit of volatility here. Now, I don't know what the financial state of this company is. So let's have a look at the announcement. So this is either really good, another really good announcement from the company, or a capital raising. That's what I'm guessing right now. And Singular Health, in respect of a capital raising. So I'm not interested in an announcement just yet. Any other announcements here? Sierra Resources equity raising. Arafura Rare Earths going to a trading halt. Calidus Resources going to a trading halt. And PSI, ASX query RE media speculation. Let's see what the company has to say about this. Let's have a look to see what these trading halts are in relation to. So Arafura Rare Earths, market regarding debt financing support, not interested. And Calidus is relating to the restructure of the company's debt and hedge book with its financier, not interested. And here's an announcement from this PSC. PSC periodically receives approaches from parties looking to discuss strategic initiatives. The company confirms that it's recently received multiple strategic approaches and is in discussions that may or may not lead to an offer being made for PSC. And did the market react to these media? To these, yeah, up 6.2%. And then the company went to a halt at 10:40 a.m. So that 6.2% increase was in the first, say, 10 minutes of trading. So not a lot of interesting announcements that were released today, but doesn't mean I miss some. So let's have a look at the best performing companies on the ASX. We'll also have a look at the worst performing companies. And the best performing company on the ASX was LBT Innovations, up 100%. And there was an announcement from this company. So let's have a look at LBT. Now, this company does have a special place in my heart because this was a really good decision-making company for me many, many years ago. So let's have a look at the chart we'll have a look at the chart later. Is this announcement that would interest me? No. APAS, Pharma QC, commercially ready, performance finalized. I don't care about that announcement. I want to see money coming in the front door. But the market liked it up 100%. But just because the share price is 100% doesn't mean this is a really good one-day performance. The high in the day was 3.8. So there was a bit of selling coming in. And the previous close, of course, was 1.4 cents. 284 million shares traded. That's pretty good. But let's have a look at the chart. Is this a breakout for a company that has a special play to my heart? I'm going to say no. Well, close. A massive volume. So we have a tick there. Massive volume. The share price is now at more than a 6-month high. It's just the announcement. I would have preferred if this was, so the breakout occurred right there. It's pretty easy to see why that was a breakout, because the highs back in November, December were at 1.8 cents. Share price got to 1.8 cents again in 22nd of February for 3 days around that date, and there was selling. And see, these three candlesticks, or two of these candlesticks, there was a shadow above the main body. And as soon as share price got above 1.8, there was a bit of selling. And this is the definition of breakout, really high volume, share price pushed above that old resistance level. It's just the announcement. And the share price has been in a massive, actually, I missed this one. The share price on the 29th of February rose 125%. So two good announcements in a row. Now, even though I'd say this is not my preferred breakout, I'm still calling it a good announcement. But the share price has been suffering. So why? Let's go back in history. Why does this company has a special place in my heart? I think I might have mentioned this in the past video. So we have to go way back to about 2016. Here it is. Now, back here between about 2012 or 2015 or so, I was buying shares in this company. I bought quite a few shares. And there's a few reasons why I bought a few shares. I forget why. That company was generating revenue back then. They did have this device. And then there was some bad news here. Early 2015, share price in one day fell a fair bit. Sort of fell more than that. And the reason why, I forget reason, something to do with the device I was selling was coming to an end or something, I forget. But I maintained a holding in the company. I bought some more shares. And then on the 10th of October 2016, the company released some really good news in regards to FDA approval of a product they're selling. So this company, see if I can remember what they do. So this company has a testing device. So instead of testing, like someone testing each sample that comes in, they have a device where the device can test all these samples much quicker than a human can. Let's see what TradingView says. Didn't say anything. Okay. I probably totally messed up what they're doing. But anyway, they got some FDA approval or something, and that's why the share price went from 13 cents to high well above $1. Now, the share price was well above $1 because I sold out at above $1. They must have done some sort of recapitalization or share consolidation, because at one point the share price got above $1 and then I sold out at the high. So this one day candlestick on the 14th of October, I sold when the share price almost reached its high, and then the share price absolutely collapsed. And I still remember that, and that was just perfect timing. So this is one case where I did have perfect timing. I would call it just luck. And then I've been following the fortunes of this company, and I just went, oh, that was just perfect timing, because the share price went from a $1 or 70 cents or so, 75 cents, all the way down to a low of 0.4 cents. So that's LBT. LBT. Any other companies here that look interesting? This is by percentage change. We have Sanitas, Marley Spoon. Now let's have a look. Nothing really interesting there. Let's have a look by market cap. Regis Healthcare. Oh, sold out of Catapult yesterday, and it's gone up 7%. That's okay. That's okay. Took my profits. 29 Metals on a nice little run. Demeric's nice little run, up 9.5%. Findy up 10% again. Let's have a look at Findy, just the chart. I might talk about Findy in another video. Do a sole video on this one. What's happening here? There we go. Chart looks brilliant. This is now my biggest holding, because the share price keeps on going up and I'm taking profits. So it's my biggest holding, and another big update, up 10%. Not sure what's happening here, but I still think maybe potentially the company is undervalued, because the company is doing a dual listing on the Indian Stock Exchange or something. And based off the numbers they said in that particular announcement, the company is undervalued at 108 million. Yeah. Okay, so Findy, another good day for Visan. Company I do own. Collidus up 10%. Biome up 8%. There's that microbar. Brookside up 10%. Go Brookside. Although it's just sort of pip trading. Let's have a look at the worst performing companies today. See if I missed anything here. Cooper Metals down 50%. Turnover was above $1 million worth. So there might be something in this, maybe some bad results of a mining exploration. So Brumby Ridge Diamond Drilling updates. So the market didn't like that. Down 50%. They also released an investor presentation. Okay. Okay. Let's have a look at the chart for Cooper Metals just to see. I'm just going to see if the share price was running up. No. Well, it's all over the place. Cooper Metals, no interest. Nothing much happening in the biggest losers. A lot of small cap companies here. Let's have a look at by market cap. Chalice Mining, Core Lithium, Omni Bridgeway, Appen. Yeah, nothing of interest at all when I look at these companies that I want to look at a little bit more. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, a few minutes, is a scan I'm doing Finviz. So this is by America, something I've been doing now the last 2 days, and I'm finding some possibilities within this. For instance, yesterday, and I might do a video on this, yesterday, I might have put it in this. Yesterday, I found this company through Finviz, a company called Radware. Now, they release results or something. Share price rallied 10.02, and this is a breakout. This is the definition of breakout. Really good volume coming through. Share price didn't fall all that much yesterday. I might be trading Radware, and I might be trading Oracle. Another one I found. This one is a beautiful, potentially beautiful looking chart. Right on the two highs we saw back in June and September of last year. The other really good thing about this particular website is if you click on, say, so go to Mega, it might be in large. So you can do this. I'm doing this by market cap. I've set in my presets. So we go to the mega cap companies, and we have Oracle here. So you click on Oracle, and you get the chart. And then you get some of the particulars of the company, market cap, income, sales, book to share, cash to shares, dividends, all that sort of thing. Then you also have the upgrades and downgrades from brokers. And then you have the news release, some news articles written about the company. So let's have a look at a company I was having a look before Oracle. Let's go to the mids, the smalls, actually the smalls. And there was one company I had a look at and went, oh, this looks interesting. Was it this one? I forget which one. There's quite a few here. Mission Produce, yeah, Mission Produce. So has that upgraded Fizz? Get rid of that. I can subscribe to them. So Mission Produce, I was like, oh, this chart is looking interesting. A breakout, just by looking at this, a breakout. The last time the share price was this high was August last year. So we are talking about 6-month high in the share price on pretty big volume coming through. Market cap of this company is 850 million. It's like, what does this company do? Mission Produce. So obviously, they're doing produce. Well, something to do with produce. I thought maybe they were a mining company or something. And then I opened up one of these articles. So, and they released their half year or their quarter results. So this is why a lot of interest came in this company. And so I opened up one of their announcements. They're listed on the NASDAQ. They're an avocado producer. Look at the ticker code, AVO. Should have been pretty obvious. So who would have thought that avocados, or growing avocados, could lead to a market cap of 850 million, but this is just a potential trade. And I'm becoming interested and more interested in trading on the NASDAQ New York Stock Exchange. So I put some money into my superhero account. I transfer that money to my American account, and I'm going to do a little bit more trading on these American companies. Companies I've never heard of before, and I'm not going to have a look at the financials. I'm just going to trade off my 3 rules. Share price, 6-month high, high volume, and the company released a good financial results, and this company did. And I'll have a look and go back to all these announcements. They did release, 3 announcements were released yesterday. Earnings call transcript. I'm loving this website as I'm looking through it. Now, I could upgrade, and I think it's like $20 a month, which is not that bad. Anyway, so that's all I've got for today's video. If you have any thoughts, any suggestions, just leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, that's it for this video. Have a good day. And don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who's qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for the video. Have a good day. Bye.